had some audio desync, a couple issues going in last game that we hope don't happen this game. So we'd like to apologize to both the teams that it happened to. But we're going to roll straight into this one with high hopes.
Yeah,
and I'm with Ajda.
Yeah,
there you are.
Yes, I'm here now from the start. Aim the champion select. Poggers. All right. We got Gangplank, Trundle, Oriana on the blue side. And we've got... we've got Evelyn, Rengar, and Viego coming out. So 3 jungle-oriented bans coming out here on the red side.
That's right. They must be looking to defend their jungle quite difficult. Or their jungler is going to be someone who is easily pressured, and they're trying to get rid of some early threats they may face up against. While we have a much more interesting variety of bans looking at Gangplank, Oriana coming from the blue side. Because, I mean, what lane do you play, Aj? What lane do you play?
I flex between top and support, and that is an Aurelion Soul.
Okay.
My goodness.
Okay.
We got a one trick here, maybe?
Wow, that's you don't see that often, do you? But
absolutely not. I have not seen an Aurelion Soul been played this entire season or last season.
It might be a statement.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I play
there you go.
Soul.
That's why they banned 3 assassins. Aurelion Soul. Big World's bounce house with the big brain tactics.
And yeah, and we're seeing a Thresh locked up with the Kaiser in the bot lane, which is going to be a really interesting one to watch too. Thresh, I haven't seen picked as much in high level play recently. More focused on those mage, those enchanter supports. And if we're for a hook, we're seeing more Nautilus. But Thresh is still a fantastic champion. His Lantern, I have seen him once locked in. His Lantern has been used fantastically and has so much variety to it, as well as his hook, his E, a very, very versatile champion, which is only limited by your imagination.
Absolutely. In fact, Thresh, the receiver of a pretty substantial buff recently, increasing the scaling of the amount of ability power and armor that he gains from his souls collected, as we are now going to have an Amumu picked up here, likely for the jungle position in Big World's bounce house, and of course the Misfortune there, a potential flex pick, could potentially go into the ADC role or the support role. So Big World's bounce house keeping their cards close to their chest there, as we are entering the second ban phase.
So far, we haven't seen that much of the bot lane, but our mid lane seems like it is going to be clearly laid out. We have a Aurelion Soul versus an Ahri, and Aj, I gotta say, I'm in the same position as you. I'm a top, who occasionally plays support just because that's fun, and that's where my expertise lies. But in the mid lane, it's such a vital lane that can influence so much of the entire game because of the roaming potential, the roaming ability that everyone has, especially in the mid lane, those who do well. Like we've seen Aurelion Soul with his ability to travel long distances very, very quickly, as well as Ahri's dash. There's a lot of mobility and a lot of danger for these people moving around. We're going to see 2 top lane bans coming out. Yeah,
so 2 top lane focused bans, 3 actually, considering if you count the ones coming from the blue side, as we actually do have a Nautilus now being banned away. So, likely them thinking that it's the Misfortune there in the ADC position, and it is going to be if they pick up the Braum here. Braum, a very nice champion there, especially paired up with the Misfortune, just layers upon layers of nice crowd control just to suppress the bot lane there, as Nunu and Willump now getting picked up, pretty substantial roaming as we brought up earlier to counteract that Aurelion Soul.
Oh yeah. Oh, and it looks like we are going to see a little replay, a little peek into the past today in the 3rd game of the night, flashing right back to St. Paul versus Mount Gravatt and their incredible Alawi that we saw that game. Jesus from Samoa is going to be facing up against, we're about to see our opponent top laner locked in after Yorick has been banned out, who can be a little scary to fight against as Alawi.
Yeah, Yorick, another champion that utilizes the Divine Sunderer.
And there is.
Yeah. There's the Ornn pick. Ornn is, actually, I'd say Ornn's a pretty alright pick into the Alawi. Good scaling, especially if you want to warrant advantages for the rest of your team, like a champion like Aurelion Soul, who could very much use a financial buff, as it were, from the ornaments coming through towards the later stages of the game. Looking at these matchups, it definitely feels like teamfight orientation here for Big Worlds, and more of a skirmish, roam, hunt you down type of team composition here from SPCC Gosford.
Yeah, that's right. And I now, again, as a top laner, I think it's much easier for me to throw my opinion here. I think that Ornn, have we seen him play a lot in a bunch of other levels of play, is he's often trying to take as little damage as possible in the early stages of the game, to be able to develop, to be able to get stronger. And then after building his items and taking that slight little lead against Alawi in lane, then he's finally going to be able to lash out his opponent because he's so much stronger than them. But Alawi, on the other hand, we've seen happen last game, has that ability to, when she throws out her whip and manages to pull out your inner essence, then it is attacked by the tentacles. It does do a little bit of poke damage, which could be very problematic for the Ornn.
Absolutely there, but however, the Ornn does have a little bit of an advantage in the aspect of he can engage from longer distances, especially post level 6 with the Call of the Forge God there, allowing him to get more involved into team fights quicker than an Alawi would. Of course, if we do see a repeat similar to that of last game, Alawi's going to go for that Titanic that Titanic Hall and the Divine Sunderer build to just sort of really amp on that split push strategy. But of course, with Ornn being the champion that he is, he just grows substantially bigger and bigger and bigger. So it can be quite hard to play a split pushing matchup into a champion like Ornn, who can allow his team to get benefits without necessarily being in the lane by giving them access to those items.
Yeah, that's right. And I think right before we fire our way into a wonderful third game of the night, we will go and take a breather. Everyone grab your water, grab your tea, grab your coffee if you're into that at bloody 7:30 p.m. at night. And we're going to take a breather, and we'll see you guys. Get comfortable in just a minute.
Be kind for me.
I hope you have gotten comfy. I hope that you got your tea or your water or your coffee if you're into that, and your blankets, and you're sitting very comfortably in your bed as you're ready to go. Right now, we have St. Philip's sitting on the blue side up against Mackillop on the red side for a wonderful final game we're going to roll into tonight. Once again, joined by Adge.
Hello, everyone, and yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting game. Let alone for the fact that we have an Aurelian Soul here with your pal Nick there in the mid lane there for Mackillop College, going for that cheeky large Q strategy with that big stun coming through the middle of the lane, looking to catch someone out. It looks like someone's been watching some YouTube clips of the one trick, I believe. There was an Aurelian Soul North American player who utilizes that exact strategy. But I think he plays Aurelian Soul top lane, so seeing it here in the mid lane up against a ranged champion like an Ahri might prove a little bit difficult. I'm eager to see it work. But a champion like this is rather difficult to pull off correctly, but looks like he's doing pretty alright.
He's got an early stun too. Yeah, it looks like Tornado Duck and your pal Nick are going to have a lane exactly like we just saw there, where it's going to be very back and forth with a lot of trading, a lot of slightly chip each other's health down. As these mages, they may not have the most amount of sustain, so we will see health just tick down and down and down as we move further and further in this lane. Now, we do have an Amumu and a Nunu in jungle, both nice little tongue twisters, and we're going to see, again, these champions are both more tanky, more that engage type, locking people down and letting whoever they ganked take the opportunity and take the advantage in the kills. So we will probably see these guys coming in around roughly when they hit their level 3s, when they finally get comfortable. They get their entire kit, they can lock people down, and they're going to ready to get smashing. And I mean, what do you? We've discussed the top lane, and as someone who's played a bit of support, I hope you have an idea of what could be going down in this bot lane and how these guys are going to be playing up against each other.
No, definitely. So, as we can see, with Mackillop College here, it's going to be an MF Braum. It's rather hard to get on top of this matchup, because obviously with the Braum, you've got that slow coming out there with the Glacial Strike, as well as the Make It Rain from the MF, constantly slowing and providing a decent amount of DPS, which prohibits any one from the bot lane, whether it's Planned Oyster or Digi on the Thresh, from getting too close, as we do have a Nunu coming top
and here comes the Nunu. Looking right at top, Toon Moose does manage to drop the snowball as well, as we get a teleport back into
Tornado Duck.
Ninjas from Samoa is getting extremely pressed, and there we have the teleport come from mid lane. Everyone forced to run back to the turret, and it looks like we're not going to get a single trade, despite all the shenanigans that just went down. A big TP burned from the mid lane, a flash coming burned from T-Dude on that Ornn, and nothing else. Well, we see some more engagement going down here in the bot lane with DJ going to get completely pressured and forced out of lane. He's going to stick around a little longer looking for a bit more heat. Aurelian Soul. AFK. Oh no.
No pause coming through.
Oh no.
He's AFK running back to lane. Can he make it? No, with the flash from the Ahri. Oh no, that is so unfortunate.
A bit of greed going on between teammates as well, but Ahri will not be needing that flash, and we hopefully will be seeing a pause coming in here. Your pal Nick must not be happy about that happening.
Definitely not. He still appears to be disconnected. I'm unsure if the rest of the team has even realized this at the moment, because there is still no pause coming through here for the team. This could prove very much a disadvantage for them if they're not able to utilize this. They're absolutely allowed to pause. So it's a bit weird as to why they're not. Still, your Palnik's not connecting back to the game. As Ari's going to take a quick reset and will absolutely be able to, and that entire minion wave will crash into that mid-wave tower. Oh, it's tragic. It's absolutely tragic.
St. Philip's is going to be cheering right now. A nice little match to be able to put on their belts as well. While this Ornn and Allowing matchup, they're both getting so low. And a massive kill with the flash right on top of T-Dude with the W coming down and a slam from above from Allowing to cleanly finish off T-Dude. There we go. We're starting to see a ton of events despite the disconnect we've had in that mid lane. Alawi is going to be able to use her advantage and her skill to be able to take down Ornn regardless of any disconnects happening around the map. And we may just see another spooky, scary, unstoppable split pushing Alawi again tonight.
Oh, most definitely. I wouldn't doubt it. Of course, Ornn, though, picking up that Thornmail nice and early is definitely going to be beneficial to him to prevent the Alawi from sustaining too much in the trades that they would take. And finally, we have the pause coming through as your Palnik reconnects. So hopefully, whatever connection issues he might have been having has been addressed and resolved. So this pause won't last for too long, and we'll be able to get back into the game very quickly. In the meantime, though, yes, as you stated, this Alawi could be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, again, we saw last game how impressive she can be, especially with that ultimate, having the ability to sustain as much as she does already, and then Conqueror proccing with all those tentacles slamming down. Alawi is truly an unkillable force when her ultimate is active. We're not really seeing any other threats emerge right now on top of Alawi. We'll see some Bramble, hopefully not only coming from Ornn, but probably on top of Amumu as well, and some grievous wounds to try and lock out any other danger that she is going to press. But once again, we also have Nunu, who's going to be gonna get some kills, gonna do some ganks. And I think the people we have to look out for the most right now, I think everyone should keep their eyes peeled, is Tornado Duck 1. Now, yep. Tornado Duck 1 got an assist, burnt a flash while their teammate was gonna get the kill, and their teammate still got the kill. But at the same time, potentially as of now until this pause comes over, is gonna have pretty free reign over CS. And even if they don't manage to get that much on their hands, we're gonna have a very disoriented Your Palnik on the Aurelion Soul, who hasn't been able to buy any new items, while Ari is going to farm, probably get another reset, and get a huge lead on top of your Palnik, who's going to have a really hard time trying to struggle his way back in the lane.
Unfortunately, it looks like this pause is going to go on for a little bit longer. We will try to find some things to continue on about. So, obviously, looking at the raw compositions as they are, clearly no team... It's leading towards St. Philip's College right now, that's for sure, especially with the two kills going over towards the jungler and the top laner. But I will say, for the side of Mackillop College here, they have a lot of lockdown. They have the ability to sort of real hammer in on those targets. So, for example, you have Alawi. Yes, she's very strong in skirmishes and in large clustered team fights, but she's quite immobile and she doesn't have too much escape mechanics. Which means if champions like the Ornn, or like the Amumu, or like the Braum are able to get on top of the Alawi, it could provide very devastating for them if they're not able to get out or get the backup that they need from the rest of their team. Same for the Ahri, and same for the Nunu as well. Once they are in, it's quite difficult for them to get out, bar the Ahri with her extra Spirit Rush dashes.
Yeah, and I am unsure how long this pause is going to go on for, and while we can go into unlimited analysis on how every champion is going to play the game, I think we should guide our hand to take a breather, engage everybody else here, and have a bit of a good time while we wait. So why don't we throw this question out to everyone in the audience, and to you as well, Aj? Mm-hmm. What is your I'm trying to think of what's your favorite season? What's your favorite season, mate? I think that's a really solid. No, even better. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? That's favorite ice cream flavor. I was thinking of something off the top of my head. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? That's it.
A bit of a controversial ice cream flavor, I do say myself. I am actually a big patron of the banana flavor of ice cream.
Whoa!
Yeah,
whoa!
Yeah, I know. My missus would scold me if she caught me saying that live on the air. She hates banana flavored ice cream. However, personally, I've got a very nice taste for it. Like, I enjoy bananas as a fruit as well, personally. So, being able to have a nice dairy treat, especially like, say a banana milkshake, banana sorbet is wonderful, if I do have to say so myself.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you here. I think when he first said it, I think Banana is just, oh, never mind. It looks like we are going to fly right back into a game. I'm just going to say I'm a coconut. Sorry, not whoa, whoa, whoa,
coconut.
Whoa, whoa,
Coconut
whoa. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't mean to say
Cookies
that.
and cream.
Yeah, no. I meant to say Chuck Mint. I don't know how to say coconut by accident.
That's absolutely fair, as we will get this pause resolved very shortly, as it's just ticking over now. And Ice Cream out of the way. Hopefully these teams will be able to find some kind of lead going into this. Maybe as we see the Amumu making his way towards
the top
side.
There it is.
Yep, there we are. We're back into the game. With the Amumu making his way topside towards the Krugs, we might look to see him try to provide a bit of pressure, maybe counteract this Alawi a little bit before they get to level 6, or just as. Because even with the level 6 proc on the Alawi, she can be quite devastating with her ultimate, but the percentage health damage from the Ornn can be quite devastating as well, and pairing that with the constant crowd control from the Amumu, maybe they can get some counter pressure going. Otherwise, I would say the Amumu is likely going to make his way towards the middle lane, as we have Nunu coming in with a massive snowball, biggest snowball ever.
Here it is. Nunu rolling it up as well, looking straight on, looks at that hook was successful coming down from Thresh as well. It is going to land right on top of the support and forcing a flash right out of Brom. He's using a shield to try and save his teammate. The heal drops off from Misfortune as well, and it looks like they are both going to make it out barely alive as well.
Absolutely.
And they are still staying and looking, and it looks like Toon Mouse is going to leave lane, just waiting in the bush, not aware of the vision that he is standing in, wasting the jungler's time walking back and forth, and Mackillop will not be walking up anytime soon.
Definitely not, and as I stated earlier, the Brom MF, it's very hard to get on top of them because they have such good mechanics in order to keep people away or to fall back or push you away with that good crowd control and constant DPS from both those champions. So it's not a surprise that the gank did not go without anything really happening. But the pressure there in the bot side is still good and warranted there from the Nunu. It's just whether or not they're able to exert it properly in the future.
Yeah, pretty big opportunity up top as well. You'll see that Jesus from Samoa has used his ultimate, dropping it down on top of Ornn. And now down a R ability, T-Dude is the one who now has his Call of the Forge God left still in the arsenal. If he manages to scale up a bit more healthier and get a better opportunity, then we will be seeing a nice little engage here. Having an ultimate on top of somebody else is an absolutely incredible opportunity. But whether or not T-Dude will be able to regenerate enough health and enough confidence to be able to fight against this laner, which he has already lost against once, is what the question today is.
Definitely, and as an Ornn enthusiast myself, using Call of the Forge God itself in terms of a general strategy, that's a very interesting searing charge there right into the middle. Getting the harsh lessons there from Alawi. I was going to say, it's a very interesting thing trying to utilize Call of the Forge God effectively. You either want to use it as an engage tool, or you want to use it as a way of denying escape, more or less. You never want to use it as anything else, more or less. So if he wants to commit, he'd either use it at the start or try and use it towards the end of the fight. But against a champion like an Alawi who has that innate sustain, you kind of want to use it early if you want to engage, just to ensure you get as much DPS out as possible to try and burst her down before she's able to sustain herself.
Toon Moose once again rolling out that snowball. He's starting to look on Your Pal Nick. He's going to drop it. He's going to call off the gank as well. Your Pal Nick staying very, very shallow on top of his lane. He's not going to allow any ganks, but at the same time, he's still actually managing to catch up against Tornado Duck and CS. And looks like we finally have a jungler against the other jungler. Formal Trap going to be looking right on top of Toon Moose, and Toon Moose going to be forced to disengage. While
the Amumu ultimate just goes a bit large, but here comes the bot lane actually coming through. They might look for a tower dive on top of them. Hook goes wide.
And forcing a flash out of Trout as well. And looks like we're going to have to dive and the charm under tower as well. Going to jump straight on top of the Ahri. And it looks like Toon Moose is going to go down by the sake of tower shot. And Brom has come down to support his mid laner Raylan. So we see Kaiser trying to get out of the situation as fast as they can. Planned Oyster taking as many steps, as many leaps and bounds they can take to get away from the opposition. A smite drop down right on top of the scuttle. And we have some light aggression. Oh! Cheeky little scuttle skill with the W as well from the Kaiser. Which is could be quite game-changing if used in the right circumstances. And now we've had a nice little cleanup, and this Aurelian Soul, Your Pal Nick, despite being out of the game for a while, despite Tornado Duck 1 being free to farm, being free to recall, it looks like it wasn't long enough, and Your Pal Nick has not only just beaten Tornado Duck in CS, but also taking a kill up on them as well. And we see a nice little dash here from Ornn. He's going to drop the Call of the Forge God as well. The ultimate from Alawi did not hit, and that flash does not go anywhere. Giving Toon Dude the opportunity to absolutely clean up Jesus of Samoa with way too much health under his belt. And now the tables have turned, or should I say equaled out. Finally.
Absolutely. That Ornn strategy pays out, using it to deny the escape from the Alawi, forcing the flash with the continued slow on top of it. And then, of course, finishing her off with a nice little slap with the grasp of the Undying there. Ornn being a power pick through and through. We'll see if he's able to continue scaling up and counteract this Alawi despite the CS difference. And I will say that Cosmic Breath from your Palnik there in the middle lane to secure the kill on top of Toon Moose was very effective.
And here we have Nunu once again coming in. Toon Moose on the massive gank with a huge snowball. That Thresh Cage does manage to get one slow down as well, looking at the support, and looks like Braum isn't going to be able to keep his support alive this time. They're neglecting dropping damage on it, but it looks like it does not matter. Deja Vu is being taken out, and somehow Bonobo Eater is going to escape as well with the teleport coming down from their top laner T-Dude, looking to try and turn the tides. But without a support, it's going to be a 3v2, and they're going to have a really, really hard time trying to turn it up. But now they have a fourth coming as well, Ari. If we see T-Dude walk up too far here as well, now Formal Trout looking on top. He gets the hook straight on top of Toon Dude, and we're going to see a massive, massive engagement here. And it looks like nothing is going to go down, in fact.
Yeah, Aurelion Sol started making his way down there, but it's just a bit of a tango we've got going on here around the dragon. Both teams want to look to commit to it, but as we continue waiting, actually we had
and there it is, a huge hook with the immovable hold finally dropping down, getting the stun he was looking for, and First Blood is going to go to your Palnik once again, dropping on top of Toon Moose, and it looks like we're going to have T-Dude trying to escape the fight early, and finally the Braum, who was so left out of the fight before, is now returning with full health, and Tornado Duck is going to be the double kill straight into the hands of your Palnik, looking for more, and it looks like the rest of St. Philip's College is going to decide to back up as well. Jesus from Samoa, no position to try and contest the dragon, and somehow Mackillop College have completely mounted a comeback right on top of their least available player, who's been out of the game for the longest, has seemed to make the most impact so far. And now this Hextech Dragon is going to fall straight into the hands of Mackillop College, and there is the smite to secure it.
Absolutely, despite a numbers disadvantage with Bonobo Eater retreating and D3 Javu not being there, because of the lockdown composition of the team composition here from Mackillop College, they were able to subtract the number. Yeah, the back just barely managed to go through there. They were able to lock down individuals in that little skirmish there, and of course, your Palnik on the Aurelion Sol dealing constant DPS throughout the entire engagement, picks up both kills. He is in a very good position right now.
I completely agree. And your pal Nick has just completely turned the tables on expectations. Despite being away, he has taken a CS lead. He has taken the kill lead. He has taken the goal lead against his laner and pretty much everyone else in the game, putting a bounty on his head. And now, sorry about that.
Oh, good.
Had some salad stuck in my throat, you know?
Yeah, you're all good. We do have Aurelion Sol making his way back towards mid lane. I wouldn't be surprised if as soon as he makes it back there, we're going to have some efforts from the side of Mackillop here. Looking towards that Rift Herald, we have Ornn trying to secure vision within the river, pushing up that minion wave. There are pings coming out, so they are expecting some kind of resistance here coming in from Toon Moose, who is hovering around there. Pings coming in from the side of St. Paul. They're looking for something topside. But because of that vision, they're going to be able to predict it and potentially play safe, unless the biggest snowball ever coming through very soon.
In comes Toon Moose as well. He does, and it looks like T-Dude was going to have the spot of his laner, Formal Trout. Formal Trout looking to, once again, ward off Toon Moose. Toon Moose does see, and is going to separate the engagement, does have his support to come and back him up as well. Ari coming into the river as well to try and back them all up. And now we have that contestation over the Rift Herald. There is 3, so it's going to be a 4v3. If all members that are close by come in present, there has a movement for the engaged. Well, Call of the Forge God's going to jump right on top of it, giving Toon Moose no opportunity to get no smite, no health. The cage comes up from Thresh, but it just isn't enough, and DJ is going to get taken down as the second kill. Finally, but just too late, Jesus from Samoa is looking down as well. Your pal Nick looking for his fourth and gets that Rampage on top of Tornado Duck, and it looks like Jesus from Samoa, walking down in the fight just too late, is going to surrender the Rift Herald straight into the hands of Mackillop once again.
Absolutely. St. Philip's going in a bit too deep, trying to commit to that Rift Herald, ends up just getting, again, singled out and locked down by the composition here of Mackillop. They choose a target and they eliminate it, and then they pick off the rest of the targets as they flee and run away. Even the even the Alawi there took a substantial amount of damage from the Ornn, and I don't think we're going to see the Tentacle Nightmare this game.
And we might see a turn of events instead. Instead of a Tentacle Nightmare, we may see a Nightmare forged from fire. If Ornn can get strong enough to level up fast enough, he's going to be creating items from his team that let them scale harder than they're already going to scale, which is really something that is it's spoken about a lot in Ornn's kit, but his ability to make his entire team scale further than they already would is just incredible. And it looks like someone has been caught out trying to steal the red buff. A little bit naughty, forcing his splash over the wall, and it looks like his teammate's going to come back him up. DJ is the one who's going to pick up the kill on Formal Trout, and the bullet time from Misfortune is not going to soothe the situation any further. They're actually looking to get even more engages. Thresh waiting on the hook. Really, really big snowball here coming from Toon Moose. He is going to drop it. And nothing lands on the two enemy bot laners coming from Mackillop, despite having 4 in the bot lane.
St. Philip's looking to make something happen, but with no objectives on the map currently and a pretty long lane to push through. They're kind of just twiddling their thumbs here in the bottom side, while we have yours Paladin getting some free CS and pushing that mid wave in with no tower as well. They took first tower a while ago with that Rift Herald that they were able to secure earlier. And then we also have the CS difference still in favor of Jesus from Samoa on the Alawi there in the top side, but of course the real value of Ornn comes in much later. And if he continues to play as well as he is now, he'll definitely see that value come through and to fruition. We do have Cloud Drake though coming up in about 40 seconds or so. So we will look to see the Nunu likely try to contest it with a gank here on the mid lane.
Oh, here it is. Once again, Nunu has been abandoning a lot of snowballs this game, and it makes me curious to see. Now especially, we've seen the height that your pal Nick can really get to. He has been dealing an incredible amount of damage. It looks like we have the proper engage here coming from one as well. The ultimate drops down from Alawi, and the call of the Forge is going to be up against it. It does not hit on top of the Alawi, and it looks like she does not have to worry. Forcing a flash right out of T-Dude, and T-Dude is going to walk away without dying, and there's only 13 seconds left on this Drake timer, with teleport up on both the top laners, and no one recalling yet. We may see both of these top laners absent from the battle that is about to occur at the Dragon.
Yeah, unfortunately,
and Ornn looking right back again. He's going to get shut down right in the hands of Jesus from Samoa. Exactly what they're looking for. And here comes the damage from your pal Nick, forcing the two bottom laners right up against the tower. We're going to see a dash over the wall from Ari, who's going to get jumped on right by Formal Trap, trying to get another tower once again. And it is like an island of safety they are stuck under. They are getting very, very heavy watered under their tower. They are stuck there. They cannot escape, and it looks like Mackillop has really set the borders here for St. Philip's. They are forcing them to stay under their tower, and any place they try to make sure out of it is not going to be accepted. And that Cloud Dragon goes straight into the hands of those who have been working so hard for it.
Yes, a lot of pressure coming out there from Mackillop College there to secure the Cloud Drake while pushing, as you said, St. Philip's Christian College under that tower in the bottom lane, as we are having a bit of a connection issue, I imagine. I believe my co-commentator Quicksand is having some slight connection issues. Hopefully we'll get that resolved and we'll be able to continue going with the broadcast.
I think I was alright. That is something that happens with the League client every now and then. As long as I don't see I think I'm coming through alright, but yes, that is unfortunate. There is some issues that come through with the League client occasionally, and that is one of them.
All good now as the game kind of enters a bit of a lull state. No objectives on the map. Dragon still has off of 4 minutes left. I don't believe, no Rift Herald going to be coming up for a second attempt, as it was taken rather late into the game. So we will see Baron coming up in the next minute and a half. No team ready to contest that just yet, despite very clear advantages, especially there for Yelpalnik on the Aurelion Soul in the mid lane. Got that Leandries up nice and early, able to deal a decent amount of damage, especially to beefy targets like the Alawi.
It looks like Jesus from Samoa is not going to follow his ward that he sees, and despite seeing the enemy jungler coming up right on top of him, Ornn is the one who's being pressured instead. Despite it being a 2v1, it looks like this is going to be more of a challenge than they could have imagined. T-Dude is going to walk right through the river right back to his lane, and his jungler Formal Chud is going to stay around looking for an opportunity. There's still pings about Nunu's heading right in their direction as well. If you look right on top of the map, Nunu looking straight towards Formal Trout, and Toonmoose maybe looking to make a play here. Heads right under his teammate's tower. And we are going to see nothing significant coming off the top of both the junglers attempting to make plays.
No, but we do have some pressure here in the bot side. Looks like Mackillop College with Bonobo Eater. They're trying to look to pressure that tower and take it down. It's very dangerously low. So if we have some pressure outside of the lane coming towards them, which we might have with Formal Trout backing, likely heading towards his blue side now, we might be able to see this tower fall within the next couple of minutes and potentially look to set up some vision or potentially some traps for the Mountain Dragon that'll be coming up just shortly.
Yeah, once that Mountain Dragon comes up, I think there's going to be a lot of contention now. If we take a look at the gold difference, it doesn't feel that significant. It is under 2,000 gold right now. And especially at this point in the game where we've reached about 20 minutes, 2,000 gold is quite negligible. Help me out here. Negligible. There it is. Yeah. And despite both these teams having a very similar amount of gold, it feels like Mackillop is really putting on the pressure here. They may have managed to take 2 dragons, but I don't think that's what's affecting their advantage. It's just that your pal Nick just is such a dominating force when he is walking around. He's making
there he
so
goes.
difficult.
He's walking around real good.
The comets flying around him make it so difficult for anyone to come up to him. His warding ability and his ability to block off the landscape is absolutely incredible, and it has worked so well in his favor to be able to, zone off those objectives, which is exactly what Mackillop needs right now to try and take the lead. And then we have a nice little ultimate coming down here in the top lane. We're not going to be able to see much while the Nunu ult drops all by himself in the cage, trying to get an escape opportunity once again. Tornado Duck looking for an opportunity here, using up a nice little dash, but it's not going to be them who cleans it up, while the bottom lane duo coming from Mackillop is going to try and get the trade back. Hook lands right on top of him, and it looks like Brom has woken up just a bit too much, and I don't think we're going to get any deja vu anytime soon. He may have learned his lesson from walking up just a bit too far then.
A little bit of a overstep there from Mackillop College, but still with the Dragon over a minute out, there's not going to be too many egregious penalties for them in doing so. They're not going to suffer too bad at the hands. We do have T-Doodoo95 taking some unwarranted trades there in the top side. I think he's getting a bit too big for his britches. Fighting the Alawi, who now has the Divine Sunderer, so definitely able to give the Ornn a bit of a walloping. Ornn needs some assistance here if he's going to be able to beat this lane, and here comes your pal Nick. Definitely looking to give that assistance. Ultimate still available for Alawi, though.
Look at how fast he can move, forcing that flash right out from Alawi. That Q from Ornn does manage to slow it down, and he can't leave the range yet if he does not want to become a vessel of the ocean and summon more tentacles. Alawi looking to get back in lane, Jesus from Samoa, and the E is not going to come from Ornn. He does not want to pursue the fight any further, and his teammate from the mid lane is going to be backing and leaving him all alone once again.
Yeah, your pal Nick taking the back there. He doesn't want to waste too much time up here towards the top side, especially with Mountain Dragon coming in the next 20 seconds. We can already see both teams looking to maneuver to contest it. And your pal Nick needs to be there in the mid lane to push the wave and get that priority there so he can pressure the Dragon along with the rest of his team.
And now that this Dragon is coming up, it looks like DJ may have walked up just a little too much with Deja Vu looking to pressure him, but once again, Thresher Z being able to create that distance, create that gap is exactly what he's looking for. And Ornn is going to be sitting top lane all by himself. Teleport is not up and is desperately ticking to try and make it in time while he is there. He's getting pinged as well by his teammates on the map for not being present in the Dragon fight, and it looks like there may be a bit difficulty here for Mackillop to be able to take the Dragon. Now they're down one member because Alawi, despite being in the top lane in this battle against Ornn, has come to help her team. The Dragon has spawned, and we are going to start seeing the pressure go down. The Charm drops straight on top of Deja Vu, forced against the wall, and he takes so much damage from that electrocute that he's going to be forced to walk over the fight before it even starts. There's so much pressure coming from Mackillop.
Absolutely.
And it looks like your pal Nick isn't even present for the fight. He's going to try and make it. He's not even going to try to make it on field in time. It looks like the warding has completely swapped over. And here it is. Your pal Nick looking. He gets a stun dropping right on top. Ornn does get his tower, and this Dragon is highly in contention. Does get catched by St. Phillips, and Ornn finally gets to teleport up as he's looking to come and help his team. The Call of the Forge God drops instantly, and we're going to have a double kill on the hands of Deja Vu. Tornado Duck comes to clean up Deja Vu, and we are going to have a nice little cleanup here on Kaiser coming from Misfortune, finally looking for a first kill on the board, which he has managed to get her hands on, and we are going to have a nice little Tornado Duck sitting in middle, right, perfect for your pal Nick to try and clean up. Does not have the tower to help them out, does not hit the charm. Your pal Nick misses the stun as well, and they are both slowly walking back and forth from each other, very, very wary of the damage they both can do, and we are going to walk away from such a bloodthirsty fight. St. Phillips, despite taken the Dragon, have taken the bigger casualties here, and we may see them take even further losses on the turrets and on their teammates. We do have T-Dude walking up, looking for Tornado Duck. Your pal Nick not wanting to get into this engagement.
This is such a long chase. They're just...
Bloody hell.
They're like two dogs on the opposite side of the fence. Neither of them wants to commit and go at each other, but they're both very well aware of each other's presence and trying to be menacing. I will say, that was a very good fight there for Mackillop. Despite losing the Mountain Dragon objective, they're still able to display a good amount of team composition intellect in the way that they play their fights. They were able to play their fights really well, in that they're able to zone for the Aurelian Soul and the MF, and provide that just constant layer upon layer upon layer of crowd control on top of DPS to whittle down the front line of St. Philip's Christian College and just slowly take them down. And on top of that, Zonya's being complete for Yolpalnik, increasing his survivability. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Rylai's coming out from him next from that Ruby Crystal, which is pretty much a core component for Aurelian Soul.
And it looks like T-Dude, who was being pressured in the lane, finally has his mate Trout to come and help him out. The call of the Forge God, Trout not being able to slow down Jesus from Samoa enough, and there comes the ultimate dropping down from Amumu, stunning the
ultimate coming
Samoan,
out.
and it looks like the Samoan does not care, finally getting taken down, and T-Dude is in a very, very bad situation. We finally see the Nunu wall coming down, the charm dropping, and it just isn't enough. And it looks like Samoa, the man from Samoa, finally gets taken down. And we have casualties all across the board here. But it looks like Samoa was the only one on their team to be taken out from St. Philip's, while Mackillop suffered 3 deaths. 3! That is a very, very substantial amount for a fight like that.
Absolutely, and we are now seeing the strengths of both compositions here. As we can see, we have the quick rotation speed of St. Philip's Christian College from the Nunu and the Ari, able to get on top of a fight quickly from a distance as they are now bursting down this Baron, and Amumu not in a position to contest, but we do have your pal Nick with that ultimate available to look for a potential steal, but hard to do so on a Nunu with Devour, but the MF steals it!
Oh! What? Look at that bullet time, bro! Look at that!
Might up, Devour up? What is going on here, Toon Moose?
Oh my god! Bonobo Eater with a nice little bullet time there to absolutely clean up the Baron and take a huge advantage for Mackillop, who was already on the scales of a balance that was about to tip the gold lead. Once again, very similar. The turrets taken, somewhat similar. They both had the same amount of pressure they're looking for on the map. The kills, again, I thought your pal Nick was getting very strong, but we have a lot of presence coming from Tornado Duck, a lot of presence from Toon Moose, and a lot of presence from Jesus from Samoa. But despite that, again, from looking at that, the scales were balanced. They could tip at any time if you just put one little weight there, one little difference. And it looks like we finally had that. That Baron is going to be so pivotal for the pushes these guys are going to start to make. They have 3 towers under their belt, and they are looking to take more. We have 3 members from Mackillop looking at that mid lane to ARAM, and we still have T-Dude in the top lane here looking to split push, while Toon Moose is going to come and look for that gank. T-Dude looking straight towards Toon Moose, and that blast gun is going to be used, closing off his only escape route, but Toon Moose is not looking to engage here. He's going to try and dash straight past him, but that slow is looking, that route is looking, but he does have his teammates to come and help him out.
MF, yeah.
Luckily, T-Dude does have that tankiness once again with the call of the Forge God, and Toon Moose was right to try and avoid that engagement. Now, Jesus from Samoa, the biggest threat here. The ultimate has popped, and they're trying to waste as much time as they can, waiting for the pass off. And T-Dude gonna get cleaned up by Plandoy, so walking right back into the face of danger despite leaving the fight. And it looks like the team that ganked is going to be ganked themselves. A big stun from Aurelian Soul, managing to slow down the support that was chasing them all. Alawi's hook does not hit, and despite Kaiser's W attempting to get some poke, to get some damage, to be able to potentially pop a cheeky little ultimate to fly over to them. Misfortune bullet time going to finish up the fight, and it looks like this Baron buff is not as effective as Mackillop was looking for it to be.
Perhaps not, but the fact they were able to steal it regardless just puts such a stunt in the efforts of St. Philip's Christian College, as we do now have the Mountain Dragon up once again. No Toon Moose to contest it. They're going to have to wait a little bit for that, as they will try and hold them off of the Dragon until they're able to get there. But with no with no T-Dude 95, he does have TP available and will likely utilize it to get to the fight quickly. Otherwise, they're just going to look to delay it until he can walk there. It's just a bit of a snag in the hip.
St. Philip should be looking to get this fight over right before T-Dude has a chance. Sorry, T-Dude has a chance to do anything. And T-Dude's still not looking for the teleport yet. He has respawned. He's going to be walking down the fight instead. It looks like the opportunity was not taken advantage of. The charm does hit on top of the most dangerous member, which was your pal Nick, and he does not have to take that damage. The soul is being sucked down, and it looks like we are going to have the support away from the fight first. Deja Vu sitting in the backlines after his soul has been taken. Now, we're going to see more tentacles spawning all across the map. This is exactly what Jesus from Samoa is looking for. And your pal Nick walking up too far all by himself. That's huge. Ultimate is coming in from Nunu, who is going to clean up that thresh. He was walked up just too far. The Call of Forge God not managing to clean up any kills. He does get Jesus from Samoa as well on the back down. But at the same time, Bonobo Eater has been absolutely wiped out by the opposing ADC. And it is not looking good for St. Phillips. They are running away from this engagement, while T-Dude is going to be the one who is looking on the offensive here with the support to back him up. And it looks like Deja Vu is going to be taking the L here.
The Ornn powerhouse coming through.
T-Dude is not giving up. He takes the charm, and he continues to start moving forward. It looks like this dragon is once again wide open for the taking. They do have their jungler up. They do have their smite up, and they are ready to try and take this. There's charm dropping on the Ahri, almost perfectly timed. If that just came right before the opportunity was there to smite the dragon, then Ahri may have been able to look for a steal, but it looks like it does not matter. And a third dragon is going to hop into Mackillop, giving them the soul point, and their lead has just become more and more solidified.
Absolutely. A bit of a toss and tumble coming out from both teams here so far. Neither team really in a clear state of advantage, even though there is a bit of a 3k gold lead towards Mackillop, and clearly an objective disparity. I still feel like this game can go either way. It just needs to be the utilization of your team composition and its strengths. We have the Nunu and the Ahri able to quickly collapse on people. On top of the Kai'Sa with the Void Assault ultimate, able to jump into whoever they're able to target. We saw your pal Nick didn't do anything that fight. He was taken out right away. If they can continue to do that and then follow up, perhaps if they get some more magic penetration to be able to pierce through the Ornn's defenses, I definitely think that St. Philip's College has the potential to turn these team fights, which seem to be heavily skewed in favor of Mackillop, around in their favor.
Yeah, again, these team fights seem to be really what's coming down to be the deciding factor of everything this way is going. You know, there are some split pushes attempting to start. There are some other individual objectives trying to be taken. You know, people trying to sneak Baron, people trying to sneak Dragon, but it just does not seem to be happening. It looks like once again, Toon Moose has walked into his mortal enemy, T-Dude, and it looks like another engagement. Team fight's going down here. The Call of the Forge God is going to be directed not in the direction of the fleeing Nunu, and completely in the direction to try and help his teammates once again. An isolated Kai'Sa is trying to get away from her teammates. That Thresh ultimate is going to come up with the cage and is going to slow. He somehow hasn't been taken down yet. And finally, DJ is going to go to the hands of Formal Trout, and now they have a 5v4 scenario. Very high health from almost every single member. No Baron left. They're going to start looking for this turret. This
Baron up in 15 seconds, though.
If Baron comes up 15 seconds, this creates another objective they may be looking for rather than pushing. Allowing, trying to get the souls, and once again, your pal Nick putting on the pressure.
Definitely, and we do have Baron up right now. I will say, a bit of a 200 IQ Call of the Forge God there coming out there from T-Dude. Instead of opting to go for the easy target, which would have been the Nunu, he then goes for the Thresh on DJ, of course, who was over there with Plant Oyster towards the middle lane, which allowed the Amumu to collapse on top of them and follow up for the chase and get that push going towards the mid lane there. It's the synergy coming out here from the composition, able to lock down and provide ample amounts of CC and chase potential from Mackillop College that is warranting them these advantages in the team fight. Once they lock down a target, it is very hard for them to get away.
Yeah, again, we see a team fight blowing up very quickly. Both these teams really want to be on point, and they're already looking at inhibitor turret here. They are going to try to take it down, but whether or not they're going to stay for the team fight is the big question. Mackillop has jumped right in with that Ornn jumping right in as well with his teammates.
They're in charge, yep.
Ornn and Braum have been a dynamic duo so far, and the hook is going to land right on top of Didu, who's going to get T-Dude. He's going to get pulled right into the fight with the Ahri charm as well. So you're seeing him. The Thresh Cage not even giving him a chance to try and escape. And look how tanky T-Dude is, despite being in that area. Oh, whoa! I thought he was going to get out of there alive for a sec. Tornado not going to get the kill as well, and that is a tanky Ornn.
Definitely. In the front line is where Ornn wants to be. Unfortunately, the rest of his team wasn't necessarily in a good position to follow up and inhibit that want to be in the center of the action, as there's not really a reason to look for too deep of a contention in the enemy base, despite wanting to look for a kill and potentially take that inhibitor and look for Baron. But right now, it looks like Mackillop is trying to take things, slow things down a bit, and just excel in the lead that they've already been able to develop recently, especially with that now 4k gold lead, as we have Mountain Dragon coming up in just under a minute. They definitely want to secure that and just completely bulldoze with that advantage, especially with the Mountain Drake on characters like the Ornn, like the Amumu, and like the Braum. Even the Aurelion Sol, who is a bit more of a frontline mage, definitely benefits from those resistances and that shield that they're able to get from the Dragon's Soul there. We do have a bit of a Death Brush tactic, though, coming out here from St. Philip's. Curious to see if it'll yield any positive results, but they are spotted, so likely not, as there is going to be a cautious approach here from Mackillop, but the team fight on the edge of beginning as we have the Charm connect.
Oh, there's the Charm. Braum isn't going to walk in any further. This has me at the edge of my seat. How quickly these team fights explode is just such a dynamic of this game.
Teleport coming in from engaging.
Yeah, there it is. Teleport from T-Dude. We're going to come in and join the fight, and it looks like it's finally going to go down. Mackillop really wants to
call the Forge God,
just as you said.
No, Siri charged into nothing.
Massive drop down from Bonobo Eater. Their health has been dropped down to half, which is going to make it much more difficult for them to be able to participate in the fight. Now sitting in the backline, very, very wary of how DJ is going to join in. And Ornn just waiting to start the Dragon. That honey fruit, meaning they can heal up a little bit more. Look at that damage! Coming from your power mix as well. That Call of the Forger coming in tandem as well. And that Thresh Hedge trying to slow down any inevitable damage that was going to happen. And this is an absolute